Heard about you, Chris, and Dave, and I love hearing about that friendship. It's so beautiful to hear about that. I read something from Bob Iger where he was talking about how at one point Spielberg, George Lucas, and I think it was Tarantino, they would show each other their movies before it went anywhere. So they'd sit in this tiny little theater or whatever, they'd show each other their movies, give each other feedback, and then they'd all launch their movies. And of course, all of those people are, icons. And it's unbelievable because you think they were so confident in who they were and what their style was. I mean, a Spielberg movie doesn't look like a Lucas movie, and a Lucas movie doesn't look like a Tarantino movie. They were so confident in who they were and what they brought to the table that they could even show their best work.
I trust your level of understanding, opinion, and story in the highest regard, that even though we don't share the same love for genre material, whatever you want to call it, right? Like whether it's sci-fi to drama to action, like these are all, like you said, different people. But you know story, you know character. I trust that you'll be able to watch my project, tell me if my characters are easy to track and if you care. And if you don't care, I also trust that you'll be able to tell me why you felt you didn't. I also feel that in the space of solution, you're not going to throw things at me that are not doable. You're going to know the context of what I have that I'm working with, what's left on the cutting room floor, what I can possibly do to do reshoots. Everything that you're going to tell me is within regards of having my best interests. That's confidence. That's also a strong relationship and a friendship that along the journey of success, as we've all gotten to the top of this mountain, we understand that your stance on your mountain has nothing to do with mine. Dave Chappelle has made me and Chris Rock feel stupid at times when it comes to our choice of material. We have watched Dave in our earlier stages of just working on our set, and we would spend time at the cellar, and one would come and we would all go, and Dave would go up, and me and Chris had just went up, and we're happy about our material. We're giving each other notes, and we watch Dave. There's been times where we have looked at each other, and we balled our papers up and said, we got to start over. We got to start over.
Yeah.
Not because of jealousy or envy, no, because we challenge each other, and we spark and amp the world of, like, we want the best for not only each other, but for ourselves.
Yeah.
And you inspire me and you encourage me. And I love the rapport that we have because we do exactly the same thing. Yeah, I think my hour's ready. I want you to come see me, Chris. Tell me what you think.
Yeah.
Kev, I like it, but I still think you can. Kev, come see me. I'm doing an hour and 40 right now. Hour and 40?
Yeah.
Yeah, tell me what you think. I'm probably going to trim 20 out of it. I like where it is. All right, I'm coming. Dave, what's up? Come to Ohio. You going to like what I'm working on. I want your eyes. All right. Like this, that's a strong relationship, and it's one that I embrace. And I celebrate it often, man. I celebrate it often. I think it's very important for people to see other entertainers at this level just simply celebrate each other's success. I love it, whether it's rappers, singers, actors, actresses, comedians, writers, directors, whoever. I love to see a room where people are in it and they're celebrating one another. We're all a part of a fraternity, and if we treat it right, that fraternity will have an amazing stance forever.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you don't want to attach bad stories to it if we don't have to.
Yeah. And I think that's the most inspiring thing for the kids, because when I think about younger generations, if you grew up watching your favorite people and you knew they were all friends, how does that change the game now? Because if you're seeing your favorite people fight each other and battle it out for the crown, what are you going to do with the person sitting right next to you at school? And I think I saw that so much growing up, where I've always wanted to connect with people regardless of what we do in this space. But you saw so many people who are coming at it from the perspective of, let's see who does better. Let's see who does more. And again, I love what you said. Competition's not a bad thing. Let's not give it a bad name. But the idea that we've got to be able to hold two truths. We can compete and still be friends.
And still be friends.
And I think people
still be friends.
Yeah, you have to choose, but you don't.
Still be friends.
Yeah.
There was a time where the USA men's swim team, the Olympic team, this team was just so elite. And this is in Phelps's, like, Phelps was Phelps. A human fish, right? But when you look at Locke and you look at the other men that were competing on that team, and you looked at the world of competition between themselves. Those practices were more than just practices. The world of training before the Olympics and the battles that took place in those pools where they got ready and they were by each other's side every single day. When I tell you that atmosphere is one that nobody else can understand except the ones that are competing to be great. By the way, at the end of every practice, they would get out and shake each other's hands without me being there. I'm willing to bet and say, good, when you pushed me today, you kicked my ass today. Hey, tomorrow, man, I'm gonna see if I can lower my time. I'm not happy with my 200. I'll do it with you. I'll push you. Hey, my backstroke is whatever. Hey, you know what? Today, on those 50s, we did the reps. It seemed like you got stronger along the way. Well, I saw you next to me. That motivation that you're pulling from being alongside of somebody that's quote unquote the best or the quote unquote greatest, you're using that as fuel. That's not bad. But not in one interview did you ever see them have any type of rapport that looked as if there was animosity or anger towards one's success. The happiest people for Michael Phelps were the people on his team. The happiest people were the people that got the silver, that were on his team.
Yeah.
That to me, that's the mold in the making of real champions, right?
Yeah.
That's the mold in the making. Like if you're in it and you have said, this is what I'm destined to do and I'm going to give my all, and every day I show up with 100%, regardless of the outcome, I'm showing up with 100%. That day going to come. Whenever it comes, I'm going to be ready. It's going to come. I'm going to get my just due and my fulfilling like need and energy and want for knowing that I have just delivered for myself. That's what I compete with. That's why I look at the mirror.
Yeah.
Sometimes I let myself down because the thing that I'm trying to do, I should know I can't redo.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm chasing a thing that can't be redone again. Sometimes the lightning in the bottle strikes once. You're not going to get that again. So there's times when I'm so hard on myself that I miss the moments of success that I should realize that I'm having.
Yeah.
Because I'm chasing this thing.
Yeah.
There's a time where I was doing 2 shows in arenas a night. 4 shows in the city in arenas. As a comedian. Go back on tour, the next one, I only do 2 shows. Oh my God, I'm falling off. What's happening? No. Sold out 6, 7 shows in Madison Square Garden. What? I feel bad because I didn't do it again. That ain't going to happen again. That was lightning in the bottle. You got to get to a place of understanding and realization. But once again, it's the monsters, man.
Yeah, it's the monsters. It's
the monsters.
Yeah, you talk about this in the audiobook, and I loved it. It was all about the addiction to number one.
Yes.
It's this idea, and you'll love this. There was a study that I saw that said, because you brought up the Olympics, it sparked my brain. There's a study that I saw that said people who win bronze are happier than people who win silver. Because the people who came second were this close to first.
Oh my God, yeah.
But the person who came third, they were happy. They were like, we weren't going to get first.
Yeah.
But we got in. We got on the podium.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's that podium syndrome of like, at least we got on. But the person in silver, they are mad at themselves because they didn't get number one.
Yeah.
And so that addiction to number one is so strong.
It's a bigger addiction when there's multiple versions of it. I'm guilty of the multiple, like, okay, I need it. Got a movie coming out. Movie going to the box office. I need it. I need number one. I don't get number one, I'm gonna fail. Like it failed. We flopped. I don't get number one, it was flop. It's a flop. I gotta get number one.
Yeah, it's
like
one or a flop.
It's flop. It's like there's no in between.
Yeah.
It's one or a flop. Like I've always got number one. It's gotta be number one.
Yeah.
And what happens is you're so unrealistic in expectations that you're missing real success. Now I've been fortunate and blessed enough to have a ton of them, but I got to a place where the win was attached to the project. The win was attached to me finishing a movie and being happy about the movie that I did. Union workers are happy, and a director coming out with the finished piece of the product going, you're gonna like this, and we see it and we actually like it, and then we screen it for fans, and fans go, we loved. That's the win.
Yeah.
That's the win. This other thing, I'm trying to control, Kev, stop. You can't control that. And if you keep on going in the direction that you're going in, if and when that thing changes, you're going to be so hurt that the world of recovery might not be easy for you. Your logic and what you're now deeming as like reality for you is not reality.
Yeah.
And if you don't grasp the real concept of what it should be now, it doesn't mean that you're saying that you are ready to fail.
Yeah.
It's saying be prepared for the world of real to present itself at any point in time. Don't get caught up in the world of fake. And me acting as if I control these numbers, as if I can navigate and direct and make it happen when and how I want all the time, I'm setting myself up. So you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna check myself now.
Yeah.
Let me balance it out now.
Huge.
What are you doing? I love what I do. All right, well then let's be happy in what we do. I talked to David Letterman on my comedy podcast, right? Comedy Gold Mines. And Letterman said he was so dark at one point because all he did was show up and he looked at the numbers between him and the other shows every day. Oh my
God, that's painful. Yeah.
Every day.
Like Instagram numbers. Yeah.
He said every day I got there and I looked at it and I would, my team, you were not working hard enough and I was so hard. He said I was so hard on people. And when you hear him talk, love David. By the way, I don't know the Letterman of old that some people ran into. I know the Letterman of now. And he's so transparent, the information and how he talks and what he's overcome. His stories were just, it was so good to hear. Because when you hear people that are openly telling you, you can't do this, you can't operate like this, because it eats away at you. It eats away. It made me realize I did go through a piece of that. I just was able to catch mine early.
And in the worry of like, we might fail, we risk being open to being broken, right? Like that's the risk. Like you don't want to go down, but you don't realize that if you're not prepared for that down, the down's going to be far worse.
It's going to be far worse, man.
Yeah.
We have had a live example of a lot of those downs, right? Like in real time, we're watching, I call it The Truman Show. And for everybody listening to your podcast, if you're not familiar with The Truman Show, it's a Jim Carrey movie. But basically, you know, people's lives, it's the movie, right? We're watching real life movies every single day. Yeah. And you're watching people make mistakes, recover from mistakes, not recover from mistakes, make rights instead of lefts, lefts instead of rights. And seeing that, we choose to ignore it as if it's not real life.
Yeah.
We choose to ignore it.
Because it feels like it's TV.
And the biggest drug, it's not cocaine, it's not heroin, it's not Molly or opioids. And the biggest drug is fame.
And now it's more accessible in different doses.
It's the biggest drug. Yeah. And the reason why it's the biggest drug, because it's a drug that makes you feel like you are powerful and like everywhere you go, anything you want, everything you want, it's a thing. And if you can't handle this thing, the consequences attached to when that thing is removed are severe. Nobody prepares you for the world of fame. There is no handbook. There is no outline. There is no guide by guide. Step 1 to step 10. There's nothing. You get it, and yesterday you weren't, and today you are.
And tomorrow you're not.
Oh, well, no, we're done. People get shell-shocked. That, to me, has always been the point of no return. Yeah. At the end of the day, this can wear off if and when, however sees or decides, and if that were to happen, well, what am I? Where am I? It's all gonna center back to: are you happy with who you are and what you did? Are you at a point where you are okay? Do you know you, and are you okay with you? If you are not, it'll break you.
Your energy is incredible, and just the depth. What I love about this, and this was my vision with the show, and you're helping me achieve that, which I'm very grateful for, is I don't think, and I love that you've been doing this more and more with the Audible, with Heart to Heart, like we're getting to see your depth. We're getting to see the mind behind you. Again, as we said earlier, we like to limit people. We like to limit people into like, you just be a comedian, or you just be a race car driver, or you just be an actor. And it's like, we're starting to realize that, like you said, you're not just watching someone's life on TV. There's a human here. There's a story here, and we're getting that with you.